am Samson.
And the one and only John Trees.
Welcome back to the channel. We Cooking Reviews, where we cook a meal, review that meal, watch the show, and review that too. So, to jump right into this, we're going to leave the disclaimer, right? So, we're skipping an episode.
We're not technically skipping
Okay, technically we're not skipping an episode. But technically we did some recording, right? And for whatever reason, we had some technical difficulties with the audio. So, our review for episode 9... it's not coming. It's just not coming. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but we'll just let you guys know what we gave the review for episode 9 if you guys are dying to know. I said finger licking good, and I think you did too.
Yeah, it's finger licking good.
Yeah. Alright, and we had some good food. We had some salmon.
That jerk salmon, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
We're gonna make that all over for y'all.
We will. We
right,
will. So to get into that, we first got to say in that last video, I did explain that I am doing a low carb diet. So a lot of our meals are going to be low carbs. I will include some additional, maybe carb-like for you. You know, oh, you don't have to struggle with me. So today's meal.
Today, what we having?
We having pizza. We're having our, what is it, cauliflower? Cauliflower.
You know better than me.
Cauliflower, pepperoni, mozzarella cheese pizza.
Yeah.
So we're going to try it. This is your first time trying cauliflower? Pepperoni pizza?
Yep.
I'm going to use a fork. Don't laugh at me because cauliflower the crust can never really be as crispy as regular pizza. So it's always soft. So I like to just dig in with a fork. So don't laugh at me. You know what I don't like about cauliflower?
What?
The smell. I don't like the smell of cauliflower. Tell me what you think. Be honest.
Okay.
It doesn't.
It's not bad. It's not bad. But for someone like me, who's not necessarily on a diet, I like regular pizza better. But I'll say this. It's better than I thought it was going to be. So, on that note, I can give it 2 thumbs up for my keto people out there.
Yeah. I like it because I think it's been 10 days. I've been on low carbs for 10 days.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you just cooked this. I'm like,
it's been 10 days. And I haven't had pizza in so long. And you know when you're like going through that motion of like missing the carbs or whatever, anything tastes good at this point. So even though that nasty ice cream, I know it don't taste like real ice cream, but I'm satisfied with it because it's been 10 days. So yeah, to me it tastes like pizza. 2 thumbs up, and of course I made it. So
keto life is rock out.
all right, so let's get into breaking down this episode, telling y'all the spoiler alerts, and then giving our reviews. Go ahead, Ronaldo.
So the episode is called Full Circle, and honestly, as the title suggests, it brings you back to the beginning, right? So to get there first,
Wait, what?
Full Circle. That's the name of the title.
I get, but how do you feel like it brought you back to the beginning?
Where did they end up in the beginning? I mean, where did they end up? Think about it. So,
They didn't go to the past in this episode.
not the past. They went back to where the first episode took us.
Okay.
You don't remember?
No.
So you know, remember in the first episode, Atticus and his George and
Okay. It took us back to the original place.
Adrian, I think it's called. I'm like, Ashley, were you not paying attention?
No. You should have brought them back to the beginning. I'm thinking when they were kids. Like, but yeah, you're right.
No, it brought them back to where the season started.
Okay.
So, now in this episode, it begins with them running back into the house.
With Diana.
With Diana, right? She looking like one of them, what they call them things, them girls that were dancing? She was looking like more like the creatures in her curse, right?
She was turning into one of them.
It was crazy. She was turning into one of them. And basically they opened the book. Atticus and Letitia fainted on the floor and went into the spiritual world.
Why did Letitia go into the spiritual world?
Obviously, because she's pregnant with Atticus' baby. She's a baby mama.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened. They were able to heal her. Great. Moving on past that. Now it's time for this thing to unravel, right? So they realize what they have in their possessions, and they go ahead and, from their ancestors, get enough information to know what they need to do next. And this brings them to understanding, Letitia and Atticus anyway, understanding the fact that he's going to die no matter what.
He has to die.
Well, he's going to die no matter what to save everyone. And the key word is everyone. At first, I was just thinking, okay, he's going to save his family. No, there's more to it.
He gonna save the whole black community.
The whole black community with him there talking about Jesus Christ. Ooh, sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Lord. So Atticus does die at the end. So that's the big spoiler. I mean,
yeah.
Not.
We know from his son's book, he wrote it, dedication for his dad. Mm-hmm. And in the book, he did say his dad ended up dying. He did switch over the sex of like the characters. He made Christina a man, and we got all that. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Ruby. You know why I want to talk about Ruby? Because Ruby, she and Letitia have like some kind of like animosity towards each other. Mm-hmm. She's a little upset at Letitia for not being there for the mom's funeral. And then, Letitia pretty much asked Ruby, you need to betray Christina. You got to get a piece of her blood or, her body parts or whatever. Bring to us so the spell could work. Mm-hmm. Ruby was going to do it.
We got caught up.
She got caught up. But did you notice? Okay, I don't want to jump. So Ruby got caught. We don't know if Ruby is dead or alive. We do not know.
To beat Christina, they had to create they had to hijack the spell that she was making. And
not only that, but they had to also create a spell to prevent. Because did you hear what Letitia told Christina at the end when she was trapped? And then she was like, did you bound my magic? And she said, yes, I bound your magic and every other white people's magic.
But that goes back to saying, and I'm not trying to argue with you, because I know you like to be right, but they hijacked the original spell.
Okay, fine. We got that.
That's all they did. They hijacked the spell.
And they added to it.
They added some of that finesse, that black girl magic.
All right.
What did you like about this episode? Your secondary.
What I liked was the two things. Okay. I like the fact that Atticus realized he needed to apologize to his ex-girlfriend.
Cool.
Number one. That. And then number two, I like the fact Atticus died.
Really?
Yeah, because you can't change destiny. Yeah, like I feel like your son said you died. He wrote the book. Mm-hmm. You gonna die. Like if he didn't die, I would have been a little irritated. How did you do it?
I agree. I think that the part of him dying didn't get me upset. I think this is gonna sound weird. Mm-hmm. I think I was bothered by Christina dying.
Probably. It was just weird. Why did she kill her?
Yeah.
Is she
because technically, if not for her, she would have died sooner. Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't think Christina had. Oh wait, you have to say Christina definitely had privilege, but she also, in my mind, had one of the best character developments ever.
I didn't, like I said in my previous reviews when we were talking, I didn't consider Christina bad or good. She was a woman trying to live in a man's world and showing she could do everything a man could do.
And that's what really kind of triggered me. I'm just like, she wasn't necessarily bad, but I think the notion of her white privilege got to her at the end, which I thought was like, she was doing all these different things to kind of understand where, people were coming from. Like, for example, when she got those guys to beat her up. What was another thing?
Even when she said that thing, she was like, when she was talking to Ruby, she was like, I will kill my last living relative, my cousin, if this spell doesn't work. Like she was telling Ruby, like, I'm taking a chance, and this is my only relative. Mind you, Atticus is black. She still considered him as her relative. That's why I said, like, I don't feel like she was just a woman trying to show and prove that she could do everything a man can do because she was deprived from it. So I don't feel like she was bad. I agree with you. I didn't like that.
It threw me off, and then the way it
ended,
the way she killed her was like, I always think like deaths like that are kind of like seductive. What's the word I'm looking for?
Seductive.
No, hell no, not seductive. Vindictive almost.
Like
it was very malicious because when you choke somebody, you literally are watching their life go.
I don't know why she did it though. Like,
I didn't understand it either. That threw me off.
She really didn't have any kind of rapport with Christina.
I mean, yeah, she lost her arm. I think
no, but it wasn't Christina that did that to her. She was like in a coma when Christina first saw her.
Yeah.
So she never really had a reaction.
But based on her name Diana, right? Mm-hmm. Based on her experiences, she don't like white folks. Think about it.
Because of her friend too.
Her friend died, killed by white folks.
Look what happened to her.
She got cursed by white folk.
Her dad
died by white folks. And she just killed her possible brother. Not to mention them dogs that she controls want to go attack her car. So it's kind of like one of the things we realize.
I just don't care at this point.
Yeah, she's essentially.
I just think they should watch her because she's angry. I hope she doesn't end up becoming the villain, or somewhat of a villain. I don't want to say.
What you didn't like about?
What I didn't like about this episode?
Yeah,
I agree with you on the Christina dying.
Yeah.
I didn't care for her to die like that. The way she died.
Other than that, I thought everything was actually pretty good.
I wanted Atticus to die. I didn't like how he died. Why we had to be so gruesome with it? But I wanted Atticus to die. Like,
you know what I like? I forgot to say this. That car ride.
You know what? I was about to tell you that. How the fuck Christina knew that song? Because it was Christina in the car.
Well, no, I think there's a previous episode. I have to look back which episode this is where. Damn, I keep forgetting these girls' names. Ruby said that she didn't like that song, right? And I ain't think nothing about it, but it was the same song that they were singing in the car. Mm-hmm. Right there and then, we should have known that wasn't Ruby.
I figured it wasn't Ruby the moment she brought the vial and it was full of blood, because remember, Christina's vial was not full of blood. So unless you killed her. Mm-hmm. How did you feel that vial of blood? I knew it wasn't Ruby. But
I think her being killed off screen like that though was weird.
But they kind of showed us a clip. Okay, now we got to the point of like Atticus apologized, because that was my part. He apologized to his ex-girlfriend. She is now part of trying to reverse the spell or hijack the spell, right? Mm-hmm. So during Christina absorbing Atticus' powers or whatever,
becoming immortal.
Yes, through taking Atticus' life force, there was like this black cloud, and being a Kitsune, that's what they call them in North Korea, but that's not what she called.
Nine-tailed fox.
Okay, being that she could connect at that end moment of someone's life and see their whole future. So when she connected both Atticus and Christina together with her tails, we kind of got a glimpse of what was going on. We saw what Atticus did before him dying, how he gave a letter to Hippolytus, and then also we saw Christina catching Ruby trying to steal the vial, and then I don't know if she killed her, but she put her in that coma stage where she could use her blood to appear like her.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I would say they didn't use Kimiko. That's her name, right? Mm-hmm. Enough, I think. I think her role in this episode wasn't fleshed out enough for me. I ain't like that either.
Yeah.
And I felt like her personal episode was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite episodes. Like, I thought that her acting skills was on top there. I like this.
Yeah, but I don't think this episode was really about her.
Yeah.
It was just a connection. They needed her powers for a split second. This episode was just about Atticus dying, Letitia getting back her vulnerability.
Yes.
They found a way to give it back to her.
No,
she got it back because remember when she fell?
Yeah, but you know who gave it to her?
Oh,
Christina.
Yeah, Christina took it back away from her.
No, Christina took it back, and when she threw her off the tower, gave it back to her to bring her back. I'm gonna ask you this question then: the overall arching season, what would you give it?
I still would give it finger looking good.
Finger looking good, huh?
Yeah, I won't give it a perfect score because they had some slow moments in there that was like off for me, and I had to like think and recuperate and like, oh, I hope next episode is good. But then they had some good episodes that, you know, like the first 3 episodes had us like, and then the 4th one was like, huh?
Yeah.
You know, so I won't give it a perfect score, but it's a good show to watch.
I would say the entire series was finger looking good. Okay.
Now, I got one last question before we conclude.
Ooh.
This series, this show.
For who, me?
For you, yes. Okay. So you know how we were debating in the beginning of this series, how you were saying, man, I just don't think I like it, but I don't think it's gonna be the new Game of Thrones.
Oh,
now that we at the end, do you still believe it's gonna be the new Game of Thrones?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You know what I think is the new Game of Thrones?
I know, but we ain't talking about that. That's for next review. So like, comment, subscribe.
Hey.
Peace.
Peace.